the City podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Keys to the City. I'm your host, Trevor Keys, alongside the big brother, Ted Keys. You can check us out for live shows at Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And for streaming services, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and Google.
Honestly, bro, just tell them all social media platforms. Save your breath. If they don't know, they don't know, bro. I ain't playing that game no more. Look up Keys to the City. Just type it in on Google. If you can't find us,
some people might spell it T-O because when you think of the word
that.
two.
Well, don't worry. We got family members that can't even spell our last name right. They Keys. No,
Yeah,
we're not.
That
we're
is
not
true.
car keys,
We're not car keys, ladies and gentlemen. We are Keyes. So family members, if you're watching too, get our names right, please.
Did you see your snaps today?
Yeah, those pictures. Wow, I need this. I need those. Those are old photos.
50th anniversary.
That's when my hairline. Did you see my hairline? That's when
I
didn't.
The Julius Caesar look.
I had the hair. The hairline was just not.
Dude, that was 07.
Yikes, that was just not on point. That hairline.
That was 15 years ago, bro.
16 years ago, Ted. Get it right.
Get it right. Get it straight. Get it right. So you were
speaking of long droughts. Well, I guess it's another year. We always talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Well, the San Francisco 49ers are going to have to wait one more year in trying to pursue a Super Bowl title.
Whatever.
Since '94, for all those for people that are wanted to know. But yes, conference championship, and it looks like this continued postseason, kind of letdown kind of postseason, continued into Sunday as we had two games, four of the best teams playing. But did we really get to see the four best teams at full strength playing for a chance at Glendale, Arizona? When we think about these games, look, there's a lot of things we could talk about from Sunday. Sunday was a weird day, just in general, with the first game really put a major damper on maybe a lot of football fans' minds. And then even the night game, and I told Dad, I was telling Pete, I just didn't get I don't know, it just felt like a normal game to me. I didn't even take into consideration that was really the AFC title game. I don't know, it was just an overall damper of a day to me, and it feels like this playoffs in general has been a damper. So we're really, really hoping that in 2 weeks, Super Bowl 57 is a lot better than the results that have been played out in this postseason. So
well, either way, it'll be a lot better.
We can only hope. We get now the two best teams. All we've been hearing about is the two best teams all year. Who was 1 and 2? Well, we're going to get to see that come next Sunday. Or 2 weeks, I should say. It's like a week and a half, whatever. 13, 12 days. Who cares? It's still a long way off until Super Bowl 57. But let's just think about the overall takeaways. I know people are going to complain. The referees blew the cut. No. Stop with the referees. Yes, they've been awful. They've been inconsistent. But the refereeing in all sports has just been inconsistent, and they should be held accountable for their actions. So there's just another example of that. So when you look at that, and then we'll give out our Super Bowl 57 impressions early because we still have a whole nother week and a half to discuss. So, Ted, when you think about how Sunday played out early at 3 o'clock and at 6:30, what was your overall takeaways from this conference championship Sunday?
The two better teams won that day. Let's get that straight. The two better teams won that day. But honestly, I feel like I missed out. Like I feel like I was left out of the party. Like something wasn't right. And that's truly how I believe, because I feel like we could have had two special games. And in the first game, unfortunately, the 49ers, everyone knows the story. Purdy gets hurt, ruins his UCLL. Josh Johnson, concussion. They're down to their 7th-string quarterback. McCaffrey's going to take snaps. They bring Purdy in, which I was telling Dad, I just don't understand why they, at least at halftime, couldn't come up with at least a wildcat offense, something basic where at least McCaffrey or the quarterback is a person where he can at least run the ball. Purdy was a non-factor, so you're playing 11 on 10. At least if it's 11 on 11, you could do something. Listen, once those two quarterbacks went down, the game was over. Eagles were in the blocks like they were taking off in a track meet, and just everything was downhill because they didn't have to worry about any passing. Like literally, it was the easiest day ever as a defensive player. And then you were literally just, it was like the 4-minute offense. You were just wearing the clock down, trying to get first downs, and for fans hoping the game ended sooner than later. Because honestly, after the first quarter, I'm not going to go into the what ifs. I get it. We could do the what ifs, right? We could do the Devontae Smith pass was not a completion, right? So that would have been a turnover down. If Purdy is healthy, we probably get a good game. Josh Johnson just catches the damn ball at the end of the half, and they don't give up an easy 7 right there. We're talking 7.5, and then who knows what plays on. But at the end of the day, the Eagles bullied the bully. That's the way I looked at it. I told Dad, the 49ers have been the bully of the league for so long, and the Eagles literally bullied the bully. They literally beat them up, and that showed the frustration at the end of the game. The other thing, we go to the second game with the Bengals Chiefs. Like you said, Trev, game was awkward, all weird. I mean, the game was just between the couple guys.
I felt more intrigued by last year's game than I did this year's.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs guys, a couple guys get hurt. The receivers, they're playing with third and fourth string receivers.
Mahomes
right?
isn't 100%.
Mahomes isn't 100%.
Burrow didn't look great.
The game ends with an unfortunate penalty by a guy who played really well that game.
Yeah.
Played really, really well. He just made an idiotic play. It happened. Like we've seen it before. Guys, they just sometimes blank out in the situation. Didn't realize where he was. He said it. Didn't realize what it was. He pushed Mahomes. And if you watch the video afterwards, you see Mahomes actually trips over his own feet, which makes him fall. So does that play? It doesn't really matter. You're trying to make excuses. You just, in that sense, I was hoping that the game came down to overtime. But here's another fault. You want to blame things? Your Bengals, right? They punt the ball. You punt the ball right down the middle of the field. You kick a line drive punt. You give Sky Moore an opportunity to return the punt. Like, haven't we learned this before, like in the Giants and other games? Like, punt the ball out of bounds or punt it to a corner where you can kind of trap them. I just felt like that game didn't live up to the billing, right? You know, like you have this anticipation. It's like sometimes a finale of a movie, right? Like the last Michael Myers Halloween or certain other movies. When you watch Star Wars, like when people watched them and then went for them, it just never lived up to the billing. And I think we were all super excited for that game. You know, you had the two best quarterbacks. You felt like you had the two best teams in the AFC. You had the rivalry. You had the crap. You know, I wasn't say whatever. You know, everyone talking their junk. And unfortunately, the game never lived up to the billing. But here's the thing: the Chiefs were the better team. The Chiefs were the better team. That defensive line wrecked house all game. Chris Jones was the best player in that game. And then Mahomes proved to us, if he didn't prove to you before, that he is still the best quarterback in this league, and and he's the best overall player in the league. His statistics, when you go back and look at them, considering he played with a high ankle sprain, considering that his 2 or 3 top receivers were out for the game, considering they could not run the ball against the Bengals,
so
he was that dominant to lead them to
326 yards.
Say that again?
Still had 326 yards. That's the thing that, like, you just think about both of these games. It's like, yeah, what happened in the first game, you're probably never going to see it again, maybe. I mean, realistically, to be just to start off, to be down your third string quarterback in general is, for most teams, you're not usually put in the predicament that usually the 49ers have been in, and to be where they were 60 minutes away from possibly playing for a Super Bowl, and to really see that just the first drive of the game too. Eagles go down, they score, and then Purdy, I know they're at midfield, and then that whole thing happens. It was literally just like that. So when you really think of these games, the 49ers played a half without a quarterback. They literally just ran the ball, and I'm good for the Eagles because they went after a wounded animal. And they hunted and they took him down, and good for them. And that's what a great team's supposed to do. Pedal to the metal. Doesn't matter what happens. They still got after him. They still got after Purdy. And Hassan Reddick has earned himself possibly a massive contract because he has been excelling. I mean, he's been unbelievable this entire season. I think it was a 1 or 2 year deal. It wasn't a big deal.
I have to look back. I know
his contract, but it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't long term. It was a friendly, team friendly deal. And he came into this postseason with 16.5. Now he has 19.5. So this man has been literally taking over games, and he took over on Sunday. And the key part about that, they had 3 turnovers, and the Eagles had nothing. It wasn't pretty on both teams. Like, I get it. Jalen Hurts has been phenomenal this entire season, but he didn't look good throwing the ball. And I get it. He's not 100%. The shoulder, he's still playing, but he didn't look good throwing the ball. They ran the ball efficiently. And that was really the telling story, that the ground and pound game of the Eagles offense that we already know is at best possibly top 2 in the league, maybe the best in the league in running the football and controlling the time of possession and winning inside the trenches. And that's what they did again.
So, Trev, when we go back, and I have the stats right here, Son Reddick signed a 3-year, $45 million contract.
Okay, never mind. I thought it wasn't that big. I thought it wasn't a big contract.
So this is his second year. So the coming up year will be his third potential out. So they could do a buyout There's a 2-year, three. So there
They
is
might want to try to extend him to a long-term deal because
absolutely because
he is most
the other
definitely
thing
deserving.
next year's he's got a $20 million cap hit. So
Yeah.
if they renegotiate that, you could bring that cap hit down, and then they'll have more wiggle room going forward. But I mean, 3 years, $45 million. He's lived up to the billing, and
Yeah.
others. I mean,
Yeah, he has 16 and a half in the regular
this is the
season.
guy
Now
at a
19 and a
temple
half.
that they had some high hopes when he was drafted. I believe what was it, Arizona,
17th overall to the Cardinals.
13th,
Yeah.
13th overall. Then
Oh,
he went to
13th.
then he went to Carolina, and then now for the Eagles, and he's really come into his own.
Yeah.
Almost 28, 29
But
years.
that's a credit to the whole defense. I mean,
That,
look at that
that whole
defensive
D-line,
line,
that
bro.
whole D-line. Javon Hargraves, Brandon Graham. I mean,
Mhm.
Sue's the one that knocked out Johnson. Sue they picked up like week 14,
Yeah.
right? They had I believe Winville Joseph. They had
Yeah, they signed
another.
I mean, they have an
Joseph,
overall.
they had
These
Josh Sweat. I mean, they had listen. That's why they had 70 sacks during the regular season.
Yeah.
Listen. They were dominant. Their offensive line, bro.
Yeah,
Nasty.
it's
Lane
nasty.
Johnson, like hello, like even Micah Parsons said, people I don't think you understand and fathom what he's doing, considering he's got a groin injury and dealing with what
Oh,
he's
he's
doing.
playing through it,
Literally
too. Yeah.
has shut out whoever he's faced. He hasn't given up a sack in 2 seasons. Hello, 2
Yeah.
seasons. Remember where he played though, Lane Johnson?
Oklahoma.
There we go, first round pick.
Yeah,
But I mean,
he was the fourth pick. It
he
was
was a
actually
fourth pick.
yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. But he was the fourth pick in the draft, fourth or fifth pick or something. Or no, was it the 10th? I think it was fourth, fifth, or 10th. Look that up when he was drafted. It's one of those numbers. I know.
I'll play those numbers.
I know it's one of those numbers. I'm telling you, he was drafted one of those numbers. Don't tell me I'm right, because I am right. But like I just said, like just thinking of those games coming into, I remember just getting pregame hyped for it because it's like I can't wait for this game. I can't wait to see the 49ers and Eagles duke it out for a chance at an NFC title game, and to see that how that game played out. It's very, very unfortunate for the 49ers. The 49ers are going to have to go figure, fourth, like I thought. That's what I said I was. It was the first prediction.
You know what? He was the third offensive tackle in that draft class in 2013.
Yeah, Eric Fisher and Luke Jokel went. Is that yeah?
Good job, my man. Good job. Both guys.
And look at them. Jokel's gone, and Eric Fisher's a free agent. So, yeah, good for the Eagles on drafting right. Howard Roseman and company. Always doing right, I guess.
Yeah, that was the Chiefs took Eric Fisher.
Yeah, number one. Jags took him.
Jokel went to
Jacksonville.
Both missed. It makes sense.
And I think the third pick was like Tyson Jackson, the Chiefs.
I mean,
Tyson Jackson. I think Tyson Jackson was the third pick.
That's
how you know. That's how you know I know that I have a good sports memory, because I can remember.
Well, that's what happens when you look at these draft classes and we talk about.
I can remember crap like that, but to get into like just thinking about these games and it's like really unfortunate because like you said,
Deion Jordan was
Deion Jordan. That's an all-time bust too, and they traded up. They traded up to draft him, so that was an all-time bust.
I mean, you think about that. Listen to the first 10 picks. This is got to be one of the worst draft classes. Eric Fisher 1, Luke Jokel 2, bust. DeAndre Jordan or Deion, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Deion Jordan bust.
We know Wayne Johnson went 4, so
he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Zeke Ansah bust.
He was all right, but never
lived up to the billing. Bakarius Mingo never lived up to the
billing.
Oh
my God, he was a bust. Cleveland.
Jonathan Cooper, guard from North, didn't work out. Tavon Austin never lived up to the billing.
Never lived up to. Yep.
Dean Milliner for the Jets.
Oh my God, the Jets.
Yep. Number 10, Chance Warmack, guard from Alabama.
Oh, that was Titans. That was another bust.
Yep. Titans, and then DJ Fluker bust. DJ Hayden after that. Bust. Jets Sheldon Richardson was good.
Was all right. But when you think about that, pick,
I mean, listen, that's the class that had EJ Manuel.
Yeah, that was
16. He was the first quarterback. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jarvis Jones, huge bunch.
All right, I'm not talking about Pat. Let's get over to. So we think about how
that honestly is one of the worst. I'm looking at the first class. That's honestly one of the worst picks. I mean, honestly, the only good players in that draft class: Travis Frederick, the center, who went 31.
He was a 31 first pick.
Cordell Patterson, 29.
Yep.
27, DeAndre Hopkins.
And Lane Johnson.
That's it.
4 out of 32 picks.
Kyle Long went 20. No one else in that draft class.
So 5 picks out of 5 out of 32. Yeah.
I tell you one thing. When you look at the draft classes, I know we're going to start doing that. And we're going to probably put out a mock draft probably at the end of the week, at least to get it, because you got the Senior Bowl, you got some stuff. We'll do that. That'll be a good starting point with the Super Bowl 2 weeks away. But I feel like now when you look at the draft classes, we have a better sense of who really is better fit for the first round. You still get your overall bust, but I feel like when we've looked at the last 4 or 5 draft classes, I feel like we've got a better take on. I'd say half the draft class, if not more, usually do pretty well. Doesn't mean they're all stars, but
Seems
they
like
end
the
up.
past couple drafts, the drafts have been. I mean, there's been a lot of great young talent that's come out of those drafts. You got the quarterbacks, you got the defensive studs, you get some great receivers. I mean,
Oh,
it's
I mean,
been.
the receivers the last 5 years have been.
I mean, the future's shaping up nicely for the NFL. And what else is new? The NFL is going to do great things because, well, it's the NFL. They continue to get in the money and get great talent, and it's just happening in the draft. And good. I mean, these two teams. We'll talk about it. You look at the path that these two teams, these franchises, have gotten to this point. It all the way starts. I sent you that thing. It starts all the way back in
You have it.
2013.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it because there's going to be a lot
But no,
more.
but that plays a major factor why these teams are successful. And here's the other thing: you think about the Chiefs in that game. You said, some of the takeaways. The Chiefs had 2 of their key players, Willie Gay and Ward, the cornerback. So
Kadarius
they
Tony was
played with.
out. Juju Smith and Hardman were out
But
too.
what I'm saying is, you had rookies like Sky Moore, Trent McDuffie, guys that were big
Stepping up.
participants on that defense for the Chiefs were key. Now for the Eagles, listen, there really wasn't. There's not really many rookies on that. There's no. I mean, that's a veteran laden dominant team. I mean, their offensive line has all been there multiple years. Dallas Goedert. I mean, the youngest guys like Jalen Hurts or Devontae Smith.
The
Everyone
most
else.
recent offensive lineman is probably Landon Dickerson or Jordan Mailata, they haven't been really on the team for long, but those guys have already have made a huge impact.
That's got to be one of the most stacked teams I've seen in the last couple.
I guess the Super Bowl's been made.
No, I'm just saying.
I know, I'm kidding around. Speaking of that,
listen, I'll tell you this though. Jalen Hurts better be healthy because if he plays anything like he did against Sunday against the 49ers, Chiefs are winning the game. He's got to because he was not good at all.
Let's get into it. We're not making predictions. We're not making predictions because we're still about 12 days away from Super Bowl 57. We're giving just impressions, our early 50, as everybody else is doing, our Super Bowl 57 impressions. When you think of this game, a lot of great storylines. You get the brothers. I mean, there's no better brother combo other than the Keys brothers and the Kelsey brothers because they start with K-E. Did you even notice that? Everything else is different. It's just there's
If
no.
if we were ranking brothers.
Oh, me and you are number one.
Hold on. This is off the top. Here's your top 3 that came to my head already.
Gronk, Bosa.
You got the Bosa brothers.
Watts.
You got the Watt brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Kelsey brothers.
That's it. You said 3.
There's probably another brothers I know.
Yeah, the Keys brothers. Ain't nobody better than Keys brothers, other than Kelsey brothers. But as Travis Kelsey said, oh, did you even know his initials? Travis Kelsey, TK.
You know Jason Kelsey's JK.
See, I'm telling you, you got T Keys, you got John Keys. What did anybody hear that? It's like Cosmo Kramer. It's like the breaking news.
Cosmo?
His name is Cosmo. Oh, his name was CK. Wow, amazing! A lot of K's, a lot of K's involved. But yes, you get the brothers playing against one another. So Mama Kelsey, Papa Kelsey, somebody's going to be happy no matter what because somebody's winning a title and somebody's losing. So the Kelsey house is good, all good. You're gonna have 2 Hall of Famers. I mean, come on. Then you get Andy Reid against it. Then you get Andy Reid against his former team. Then you're gonna have the 2 MVP favorites duking it out, battling out for a Super Bowl title. I mean, what else can you ask for in this game? You get the 2 top teams. If you looked at the power rankings, most of the year, with the exception of maybe Cincinnati or Buffalo, these were always the top 2 teams coming into postseason and for majority of the year. Now we're going to get a chance at the 2 1 seeds battling it out. And my honest take, my first take when I was watching Sunday's games, I told this to you, I told this to Dad, and I told this to Pete. I was like, I sat there and I'm like, I didn't really feel confident at either one. No taking away from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and that trio, I should say, of Travis Kelsey too. Maybe they're the new Patriots of Brady, Gronk, and Belichick when you think about it. But when I really looked at that game, I was like, I don't see how either one of the AFC teams can beat. Well, that the Eagles won, I didn't see either one of those teams doing it because Cincinnati had the problems in the offensive line, the injuries, and you already saw he got sacked 5 times against that Chiefs defense. Now the Chiefs ranked 2nd in sacks this year, 55 sacks. But when you look at that Philly defense, They're ferocious. They are fast, and they get after you in a heartbeat. And you went against one of the better offensive lines in all of the NFL. Now, I know the Chiefs have a great offensive line too. So to me, that's the big thing. But if Mahomes isn't healthy, 100% healthy, if Kelsey's dealing with injuries, if they don't get back Juju, if they don't get back Tony, they don't get back these players that have been huge, impactful players for this team, I don't really see how this Eagles team loses. But that's my first initial takeaway from watching Sunday's game and right now is that I don't know. I mean, I know Patrick Mahomes is greatness. You can never count him out. It's like the Brady factor. I get it. But that Eagles team, man, they don't really have a weakness. And Ted, you said it best too. Jalen Hurts, you're going to have to throw for more than 121 yards.
He was sloppy.
He did not look good. His deep ball accuracy was not on point. He had AJ. They could have won that game by another. They could have scored another 14 points if they wanted to.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't understand. First of all,
he missed AJ Brown by 20 yards. It seemed like.
I didn't understand why he was in the game late in the game running the football. They were running the football with Jalen Hurts, like literally quarterback runs. Why was he running the football when you knew the 49ers had no chance of coming back?
Yeah.
He was banged up. So listen, I don't think he's not going to be 100% by game, but he better be healthier or be much better, because if he plays like this in the Super Bowl, they will not win. He's going to have to make some plays with his arm. I get it. They're going to run the football. It's going to be impossible.
How are the Chiefs? That's the thing. How are the Chiefs? Because Chris Jones is awesome. He's just a great football player. He's going to have to be like Aaron Donald. But how do the Chiefs stop that running attack? Because the 49ers didn't have no answer.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the 49ers defense, all we talked about this year is that's the best defense in football.
They got pushed around.
They did. That defensive line got pushed around. They did have stops at times. They played them well.
But I also think late in the game, the way that game went, once Purdy went down, I think you just start taking chances. You just do whatever you can. You start blitzing gaps. You start taking chances defensively to try to make a play. And I just think it ended up biting them in the ass because there was nothing they do. They knew that they had to play flawless. They knew they had to make some plays on defense. That's why they went for the block punt. That's why they guessed on a couple plays, and it just didn't pan out. I mean, there was nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
So my early impressions, well, Eagles, welcome to face the best offensive team that you faced all season, because this is the best team you'll face all season. You have not faced a quarterback like this all season. You've had the easiest schedule. You've had two easy, which is nothing wrong with that. You've had two good warm-up games to get to the Super Bowl, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're healthy too. Hurts has got to play much better. And then Mahomes is going to have to be superhuman. He's going to have to be close to 100%, and he's going to have to make plays. He's going to have to be extraordinary. He's going to have to make those.
Do you know what I felt like this game when I first thought
listen, about impressions, you're like, hey, Ted, if you're giving not a prediction, but I think the Eagles are the better team. But I also say, though, we know that doesn't always – because here's the other thing. This Chiefs team has been here before. I believe this is their third Super Bowl in 4 years.
Yeah.
So they know what to expect. Will the Eagles, all the Eagles players and Hurts and the coaching staff be able to handle the pressure? Because I think there is significant pressure on Andy Reid, too, to win this. Because he'd be 1-3 in the Super Bowl, or 1-4, right? Mm-hmm. 1 Eagles, 1, 2, 3. So what's this? Fourth Super Bowl.
He'd be 1-3.
1-3, right? And then you look at it from another story, and this is how people think. You got fired from the Eagles. The Eagles went on to win 2 Super Bowls while you were gone, and win it with.
And they had great Eagles teams. We know back in the day.
Yeah, and won it with 2 different quarterbacks. One a backup and one a second-round pick in Jalen Hurts. So it should be a phenomenal game. I'm hoping it should be a phenomenal game. You're hoping both teams are healthy and ready to go.
Yeah.
Early impressions: the Eagles should be the favorite.
I mean, I'm not gonna give any predictions. I'm just thinking early overall impressions. I'm surprised that the game line is not higher for the Eagles. I'm surprised it was.
That's a respect for Mahomes.
Yeah, I give that. That's a respect to Andy Reid, Mahomes, and that franchise. I get it, but realistically, I'm surprised that it wasn't like
two passionate fan bases.
4.5. I thought it would be closer to like a 4.5.
I thought 3.5.
I mean, when you think about it, it's very simple. The way this game is going to be played out, and the winner is going to be whoever can win in the trenches. I know it's so cliche and so boring of an answer, but when you really look at that offensive line of the Eagles, they just ground and pound you for nonstop. And they know, and the thing is, the teams know that it's coming, and they still have no answer for it. So for Chris Jones and company, now Chris Jones is an incredible player, incredible talent, but that Chiefs defensive line is going to have to
Frank
get
Clark,
somehow. And that's why I think the X factor of this entire game is not a player. I think you know where I'm going with this. It's our guy, Spags. It's Steve Spagnuolo. And we've seen Spags in the Super Bowl before. We've seen him with the Giants. We've seen him with the Chiefs.
It might not
How
make
are they going to be?
It might not make a difference. It might not. Listen,
how is he going to have to at least just? I'm not saying to stop it because you just really can't stop a machine like this. It's more of the fact that how do you just slow it down? How do you get it off the field to get back 15 back on the field? How do you do that? That's all you got to really answer. Because you're not going to be able to stop them. Just slow them down.
Yeah, I mean, because I think if we did a breakdown by,
and we're going. I mean, we're going to talk a hell of a lot more about this game.
When you start doing a breakdown of position group, you would give the favorites, the Eagles, to almost everything except for coaching and quarterback.
Well, it's
running. I mean, the Eagles.
This Chiefs team is a very good offensive line.
Eagles better running backs. Eagles better offensive line.
I think Isaiah Pacheco needs to be included heavily into this game.
Yeah, but Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell,
Wilson Scott, and don't forget about their quarterback.
Yeah, but he's not. So I'm not putting him in the running backs.
I get it.
And you talk Eagles offensive line. Their offensive line. Listen, and this is not a knock.
Did you know the Chiefs were rated number 1 in pass block rate this year?
Well, get ready to block the best pass rush in football.
They got a good offensive line.
Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith,
Orlando Brown. Kyle Wiley is the only one that's going to be.
Yeah, that's going to be a phenomenal matchup. But I'll give the offensive line edge because of the run and pass blocking to the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
The weapons I'll give to the Eagles over the Chiefs. With A.J. Brown, Goddard, Devontae Smith, I'll give those weapons over what? Travis Kelce, Juju.
I mean, Kelce's the best weapon out of all of them. But
when you look at the group, then you go D-line. Eagles have a better D-line. Yeah. Linebackers, honestly, I maybe give it to the Chiefs. I don't really know. Secondary and then the secondary goes to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Now, special
teams.
Probably to the Chiefs. But Jake Elliott is no bum, bro. Yeah, Jake Elliott is no bum. And Butker goes through these stretches time where he misses extra points. He's got a cannon for a leg. But you give the coach and the quarterback edge to the Chiefs. Listen, the intangibles, maybe the Chiefs because they've been there. Either way, it should be a great, phenomenal Super Bowl. I think we got the two best teams.
And it's in a dome. So there's not going to be no weather. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be the last time we actually saw a Super Bowl in Arizona. There was a guy named Russell Wilson. That was the last time. Yeah. There was a guy named Russell Wilson that decided to throw the ball at the 1 yard line instead of giving it to beast mode.
Well, that's not his fault.
So if we've seen the past 2 Super Bowls in Arizona, maybe it's shaping up to be a classic because the past 2 were all-time classics. Patriots, Seahawks, Giants, Patriots. Maybe it could be a finale to end on a high note. But there's so many questions, there's so many X factors, so many storylines going into this game. I mean, it's great to see that you get to see the 2 number 1 seeds, but I don't know if I get this vibe that it could be like Tampa, Kansas City all over again. No, I don't know. Now I know Kansas City's offensive line is a hell of a lot better than what it was at that game.
Different ball game, bro. It's gonna be a different ball game.
I hope so because this Eagles team, big question marks.
We thought the 49ers defense was unbelievable, and the Chiefs put up like 40 points on them. Remember that in San Francisco. Sorry,
if the Eagles are, but the Eagles' strength is running the football. When running the football means you keep the quarterback and the offense off the field.
Yeah, but who's the best quarterback the Eagles have faced all year? Dak?
I don't know.
No one.
I really haven't. I mean, hey, I get it. Everybody said the Phillies a good team.
Of course they are.
Look, you play who's on your schedule, and you can only do it. And guess what? They've dominated nearly all of their opponents. So good for them. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking them. But when you play, but you are right, Ted. You are playing against the best in the game. You are playing Tom Brady. You're playing LeBron James. You're playing Patrick Mahomes. You are playing the best in the game. The guy that's been there 3 times just does everything. It seems like anything we've ever seen, unlike anybody we've ever seen play the position. And then you get to go against the Hall of Famer Andy Reid. Yeah.
Okay, so the best quarterback they played was Aaron Rodgers, and they won 40-33.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers had some success in that game.
The Lions was a tight game, first game of the season, 38-35.
No, but think about it. Aaron Rodgers, I know that time they were 4. They ended up becoming 4. They were 4-8. But Aaron Rodgers got some movement, was able to move the ball on this team. They like to run the football. The Chiefs have to run the football in this game. They cannot be pass heavy too. I get it that when you have Patrick Mahomes, you can do anything you want. But you are going to have to establish some sort of running game and to try to balance that passing attack. So you're going to have to get involved, Isaiah Pacheco, number 10. No, not Tyreek Hill, Isaiah Pacheco. Because when that man gets the ball, that's an animal running the ball. That's a man on a mission, and he'll come punch you in the mouth. Get him the ball because he is a playmaker for that team. Got to get him involved. We'll see what happens. A lot of injuries. Hopefully that these two teams are both as healthy as they're going to be come Sunday. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, both dealing with serious injuries. We'll see if they're both 100%. See if Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, McCole Hardman, Lane Johnson, just guys that have been dealing with injuries. Hopefully all these guys are healthy. I don't see anybody missing this game. It's Super Bowl 57. Most players will never get the opportunity again to play in it. It sucks that football's coming to an end. It's fine. It's literally down to the final game. Should be fun. We're all going to be together, bro. We're all going to be together. It's like we never missed a beat.
Nope.
But there's a lot to talk about. LeBron James is only 117 or 114 points
17.
away from breaking the all-time scoring record. We had a huge debate about that.
Plays the Knicks tonight.
Oh, he has great success against them. I think he's going to break it by next week. So you can have a week of Super Bowl coverage and LeBron James becoming the all-time leading scorer.
Nick
And why
Wright's-
Trev still
Nick Wright's
will,
fantasy.
and still why Nick Wright's fantasy. Well, Trev is still siding with Jordan, as are many people in the world. Can't go against the GOAT. He ain't my GOAT. Well, we could say all about he ain't my president. He ain't this or that. He ain't my GOAT. Oh, I'm standing on that. I stand that. Sorry, bro. I know you're a LeBron guy, but
No, I'm not a LeBron guy.
yes, you are, dude. You are
I've
such
always-
a LeBron guy.
I've always been a Jordan guy. Go look at what jerseys.
Go
do I
look at
have?
what do you want? Yeah,
Jordan jerseys. Don't LeBron jerseys.
you love LeBron. You love LeBron more than Kobe too. Damn shit.
No, I don't love him more. I just think he's a better player.
No, he's not.
We'll get into this another time.
Yes, definitely.
We'll get into this next week if he breaks the record.
We could just start talking about it this week if we wanted to, because he is going to break the record. I mean, it's only
He's going
inevitable.
to shatter the record. This is going to be the Tom Brady effect.
Oh, congratulations!
Two guys that are hated on the most in 2020.
Too bad Tom Brady has 7 rings and has a reason to be called to go, and not 4 rings and has lost 6 of them.
They're the 2 best players ever.
No, they're not. Brady is the greatest quarterback. LT's the greatest football player.
LeBron's the best basketball player ever.
No, Jordan is. Then
When he has 45,000 points, when he's like top scorer,
I don't care, and he's only going to have 4 rings. I don't care.
He might win another one.
Get the hell out of here! He ain't winning
He's
enough.
playing for 3 more
Even
years.
you or no, it's not even true.
He's playing for 3 more years. He's averaging 40 points a game, bro. At 38, what's to say?
I'm not saying he's. I get it. He's
Brady
incredible.
Brady just broke the passing attempts and completions again in the season. He broke his own record.
LeBron's only waiting for his son. That's the reason why he's going to
They're
play a
gonna
few more
both win
years.
it next year. Brady's going to the 49ers, and LeBron's.
Where's LeBron going? LeBron's going to stay in the Lakers. He's staying with the Lakers.
They're going to make a big move.
Okay, go trade Anthony
Watch.
Davis. Go trade Anthony Davis. There's a reason. I think we're going to have to start talk. We're going to start talking some NBA because the NBA is starting to heat up. We're getting close to the All-Star game. So, see what the All-Star. Do you see how they're doing the All-Star teams?
Yeah, excited for that.
I think it's cool for that. So
cool.
we're going to have to do our draft again. We're going to have to do our annual NBA draft that everybody loves, always picking Ted's team over mine.
Well,
Hating.
because you always get the first pick.
Yeah, you always get the first pick. So you're going to have Team
I'm like
LeBron.
LeBron, undefeated in the All-Star.
So I'll either get Giannis or LeBron. I guess I have a shot this year, right?
you got a shot.
You know who I'm taking first. You already know who I'm taking first.
Kobe's not playing. Oh, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, he's actually a Kobe disciple. He is my guy JT. I'm taking Jason Tatum first pick, so just know it. Unless you're taking him.
All right.
Don't take Jason. Don't take.
I know.
If you take Tatum, I'll be pissed. I know he's gonna take Luka. He's gonna take Luka. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back at the end of the week talking more Super Bowl 57 coverage. And like I said, maybe we'll even throw in some NBA because maybe we could talk some LeBron. And we're gonna try to get some guests now. We're gonna try to get the Joseph Aguirre back, Nolan Rich, maybe try to get Patrick Clapp and the big old Kanish to talk some Super Bowl 57. I want to get some people.
He's going on vacation next week too.
Who?
Everyone is.
Who's going on vacation?
Frank, Charles, Pat.
I only want Pat and Chaz.
Pat's going to St. Lucia.
Is he?
Yeah. He's leaving next Friday.
Maybe we'll get him on Friday. Maybe we'll try to get him on Friday or Saturday, one of these shows. Like this, I want to get some people's. I want to see what people say.
No,
he's a big Philly guy right now. So
well,
he has no team, so he's just only going with the favorites.
Typical whatever wins the money,
typical
bro.
Mr. Patrick O'Clap.
Whatever wins the money.
Yeah, ride with 15, homies. Patrick Mahomes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're your keys to the city. We'll see you next episode. We are out.
You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.